Born in Nova Scotia, Thomas Piper was the second son of T.C. Piper, a farmer. Thomas initially worked as a carpenter on the family farm, but his ambitions led him to Boston in 1866. While he occasionally assisted his father, his true aspirations extended beyond farm life. He gained recognition for his literacy and cleverness, and held various clerking positions within the city. Furthermore, he was a devout member of the Baptist Church, which eventually led to his appointment as a sexton at the Warren Avenue Baptist Church. Unbeknownst to many, Piper battled a kidney disorder, for which he resorted to a secret addiction, a concoction of laudanum mixed with alcohol, leading to distressing hallucinations. It was during this time that he began his descent into criminality, starting with acts of arson before progressing to his first murder. On the evening of December 5th, 1873, as Piper was walking with two of his brothers to the Dorchester Church, he abruptly informed them that he wasn't feeling well and decided to return home. Initially, he made a detour to obtain opium, which he mixed with alcohol and consumed before heading back to his house. There, he retrieved a saw and removed a portion of a wooden shaft. Afterward, he left the house, wandered for a bit, and concealed himself beneath a fence. Shortly thereafter, a fire alarm was sounded, and as the commotion subsided, Piper found himself on the street with one of his brothers. It was at this moment that he noticed Bridget Landrean, a respectable domestic servant, strolling down the street on her way back to her employer's residence. The brothers entered the house, with Thomas feigning the intention of retiring for the night. However, he instead ventured into the kitchen, retrieved the shaft, and trailed Landrean. He shadowed her for a considerable time until they reached Columbia Street, at which point Bridget became aware of his presence. At that instant, Piper struck her with the shaft, causing her to tumble to the ground. He dealt another blow, shattering her skull, resulting in her death. Noticing a man approaching, Piper quickly fled the scene. He scaled a fence that ran alongside the railroad, taking a different route back home and discarding a knife that he believed could be traced back to him along the way. The murder case led to several arrests, including Piper. However, he was initially released due to lack of incriminating evidence. Detectives also pursued an Irishman named Thomas Calhill, a former lover of Landrean, who was extradited from Ireland for questioning. Nevertheless, no evidence connected him to the murder, and he was eventually returned to Ireland, where he met his own tragic demise. In 1874, during a visit to Boston's downtown area, Piper encountered Mary Tyner, a woman engaged in prostitution along LaGrange Street. Engaging in conversation, Thomas invited her to a saloon, an invitation which Mary accepted. After sharing a few drinks, they proceeded to Tyner's residence, where they eventually drifted off to sleep. In the dead of night, Thomas suddenly awoke, finding his companion still asleep. In a disturbing turn of events, he grasped a hammer-like object and viciously struck Tyner multiple times on the head. Following this brutal assault, he swiftly departed through a window and opted to spend the rest of the night in a church. While Tyner managed to survive the attack, she was unable to identify her assailant and was consigned to spend the remainder of her life in a mental asylum. A former lover of hers named Colby faced arrest but was subsequently released due to lack of concrete evidence. On May 23, 1875, a tragic incident unfolded at the Warren Avenue Baptist Church, where Piper served as a sexton. During a service, 5-year-old Mabel Hood Young was present. Thomas had taken a bat from the lower room with the sinister intention of harming someone and descended to the belfry. After the service concluded, he dismissed the boys playing in the vestibule and deceptively enticed young Mabel to the tower, promising to show her pigeons. Once inside, Piper ruthlessly struck the young girl on the head with the bat, causing her to collapse. Thomas initially had nefarious intentions, believing Mabel to be deceased. However, upon realizing that she was still alive, he moved the badly injured child to another location, where she was soon discovered. Subsequently, Piper was apprehended, but tragically, Mabel succumbed to her injuries the following day. Piper's initial trial, led by Suffolk County District Attorney Oliver Stevens, ended in a hung jury. He vehemently protested his innocence throughout the trial and the lack of substantial evidence or clear reason for conviction further complicated the matter. Ultimately, the jury's decision remained divided, with 9 members voting for a conviction and 3 for an acquittal. In the second trial, under the leadership of Attorney General Charles R. Train, Piper was convicted based on circumstantial evidence. Initially appearing stoically indifferent in the courtroom, Piper's demeanor shifted to one of increased concern on his way back to his cell. During this time, he hastily composed a letter addressed to his mother, expressing his hope for acquittal, but a deep awareness that it was unlikely. His attempt to garner sympathy from the public was unsuccessful. Before his conviction, Piper had presented a fabricated account of Mabel's death, initially claiming that he had intended to show her the pigeons, but accidentally caused her harm by holding open a window with the bat. He suggested he left momentarily and returned to find the trapdoor had fallen on Young's head, and his fear of being wrongfully accused led him to remain silent. The motive for the crime was believed to be rooted in a disturbing lust for violence. Under the pressure of the ordeal, Piper confessed to Mabel's murder, shocking the Boston population. He also confessed to other crimes, including the murder of Landrean, the arsons, the assault on Tyner, and the murder of a girl named Minnie Sullivan. Insufficient evidence precluded his conviction in these additional cases, but Piper was sentenced to death for Mabel Young's murder. Despite his unsuccessful attempts at appeal, Piper was executed by hanging on May 26, 1876, in the presence of at least 300 spectators. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing by clicking the red subscribe button below. And don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss an update. Your support means the world to us. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.